Hi guys, my name is John Collins. I am a psychic medium with One More Time Mediums. Uh, we are Jodi Marvin and I are partnership together, and we are reaching out to the world via video or traveling to different places that we need to go to deliver messages from spirit, from past loved ones, but also teach classes. And this video is something that I'm making. I'm calling this video The Other Side, and it is an explanatory video that I would like to present to you guys about my interpretations and what I have seen uh, based on my spiritual experience of what happens to you when you cross over. What does it mean to cross over, and what do you go through? What's the process a spirit goes through when they are crossing over? And also, where is it that we go? So this is my interpretation. I do not mean to step on anyone's religious toes. Um, so if you have a different interpretation, by all means, continue to believe in that. And I appreciate your open-mindedness to what I have to say about this process. So thank you guys for listening in. So let's start at basically the very beginning, which is the end. So a person has just experienced a death of some kind, of the many ways that we could possibly pass from this world. Now, the interpretation I want to start with in death is a peaceful death. What happens when you go through a peaceful death? So, the physical body can no longer sustain the spiritual essence that is us. The physical body is merely just a condensed extension of our self, which is spirit. So we are not our body. Our spirit contains and is part of and is the essence that makes our body. So the body can no longer contain what is us, our essence, our spiritual self. So basically what I have seen in watching a person cross over, and I have experience being in the room with someone who has physically died in front of me. So this is the experience that I have seen. The person's spiritual essence, either in the form that they consciously believe that they are, which resembles very similarly to their physical body that they once held, or the spiritual essence, it's more of kind of a mist of color that rises up from the physical body. And I hope you don't mind me smoking. It relaxes me, because talking about the other side, spirits are going to come in from nowhere, and I'll try not to get distracted too much, like now. And when I am seeing this person pass from their physical body, their essence rises up as a mist out of their body, and as soon as they rise up, given it is a peaceful death that they have experienced, either immediately above them, about 6 to 7 feet in the air, or to the back side of them, there is this veil that opens, and it, as you've read in many, many New Age books, and also seen in many, many movies, the white light opens, and literally it is a vortex. It is a channel that opens, and some descriptions you might have seen where it's a swirling, circle-ish type thing. For me, every time I see it, it's not so much a doorway or a circle vortex that I see. It is literally like a horizon that happens right there in the room or in the area. And this horizon of white light, and sometimes it is a golden light, depending on the power and energy that that person contains in spirit, will open up, and they will seemingly glide into that vortex. Now, a long time ago, when I was first discovering these things with my spirit guide Anthony, I asked him one time, where do they go? What is that? What do they go through? What are they seeing? So he decided, hey, John, go into meditation, and I will show you what it is that they see when they go through that horizon, that opening, that doorway. And so I went into meditation, and he showed me, and he took me through that. And literally, I go towards the horizon, and the closer I get to it, the faster it becomes, and it literally becomes kind of this swirling of uh, cloud-like mist that just flies by me, and there's colors and lights and sounds and all sorts of just brilliant, just beauty that happens. And right now, there's a train coming, so that's brilliant. Um, how epic is that? Get on the train, children, we're going home. Uh, so that's a sign for me that somebody is crossing over right now. Someone's taking the train home. So good for you, whoever you are. So hop on that train and go home. And basically, I'm going to pause this video. And, well, I can't really pause because I'll ruin this video. So I'm going to wait through this train. You're going to love this. Because you won't be able to hear me. And if you can hear me, that's amazing. So I've never used this microphone in a train noise. I love living next to train tracks. I'm sure you hear it. That wasn't as loud as I thought it would be. Cool. All right. So that was only like, what, 30 seconds to deal with? So that wasn't bad. Anyway, I am swirling through this white lights, and there's lots of colors flying by. Occasionally I would see random human-type shapes fly by me, and as I reach what seems to be the end of this traveling just speed that I'm going at, the shapes of human-type looking things start to take more physical definition for me. And I begin to see actual people, like people that are wearing clothing and have facial structure and glasses, and I see their hair and more details as I go farther into that. And all of a sudden, I am in this huge, beautiful, like, meeting. It's like a gathering place. And there are billions of people. There are billions, beyond billions, trillions. There's an innumerable amount of people. Everyone is talking to each other. It's like the biggest. Imagine the biggest festival that you could ever imagine, and then triple that. Times it by 10, and all of a sudden, I see, suddenly just out of nowhere, through the crowd, through the people, all of my friends, all of my loved ones, anyone who has ever passed before me, follow forward. And the people that I was most connected to that passed before me step forward from them, and they reach out their hands. Some of them spoke to me, said different things, and as I grab the hand of one of my loved ones, I immediately get the urge to close my eyes. So in that vision, I close my eyes, and then I don't feel the hand holding my hand anymore, and I open my eyes, and I am suddenly in what is my universe. I equate this very much to the film What Dreams May Come, starring Robin Williams. And I am literally in my paradise, the place where my soul can heal, rejuvenate, regenerate, and just absorb all of the different things that I experienced during my previous lifetime I just came from. And I basically can stay here for as long as I need to, because when you're on the other side, time and space, once you leave your physical body, time and space, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist anymore. Time and space is a physical law, and once you leave the physical realm, there is no law of time and space. So you can be there for as long as you consciously desire or need to be. So for whatever healing purposes you may be going through, if you went through a traumatic life and you finally crossed over, you may need to do some healing. So I was able to, and because this was just doing an observational meditation with Anthony, my guide, I wasn't going to stay there for an eternal peace that I needed, but he showed me what my paradise looked like and where I go for my own privacy, my own universal privacy. And I'm not going to go into detail because I'll never stop because it's the most beautiful thing I've ever witnessed. Um, I miss it. I do miss it. And sometimes it's kind of hard going through this life. Kind of not going to go to a depressing place here. Don't worry. But it definitely, it's like going to the perfect home that you could ever possibly imagine and dream of, times a godzillion. And it was truly, I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave, honestly. And I knew it was right that I needed to leave because it wasn't my time, and this was purely a meditation, just my focused consciousness, detached from my physical self. And so Anthony showed me the other places that exist on the other side, and one, which is basically what I call the city of knowledge, the place where the Akashic records, which is a common term that people use in the New Age community and the spiritualist community. This city is literally nothing but miles upon miles upon miles upon miles of books, Akashic records, everything that has ever happened in the universe and ever will happen. This place is the place where you go in meditation to find what you're looking for, to find the answers you need for something going on in your life, to find the guidance that you need that nothing is seeming to provide while you are physically present in this world. So he showed me all of that, and there are tons of different spiritual beings that are there, not just us who were once human, but there are spirit guides there, nomads, there are angels there, all sorts of manners of spiritual beings and creatures are there, and they are all literally doing the same thing that we go there to do, is to research, do knowledge. It's like doing spiritual homework, essentially, but awesome, not boring like regular high school homework or college homework. And Anthony basically took me through this city, and he showed me, and he brought me to my own records, and he showed me what I was, quote unquote, from him, allowed to see at this time. So I was very happy to do that. And so then, once I was understanding of what this place was, he took me to another place, which is what I am basically calling the City of Healing. None of these really have terms because they are universally interconnected, because we all have a consciousness of our own, but that consciousness is connected to the universe that is everything. We are all connected in that way, consciously. So these cities are created from the collective consciousness of everyone that exists. So the next city consciousness that I went to was the City of Healing. And this, from a past life meditation that I did way back when, this is where I first met in spirit my good friend and sister Jodi Marvin that I do readings with for one more time. The City of Healing, the place that I went to looked like the most beautiful temple, like Buddhist or some type of Indo-Asian temple that I've ever been to. And in the main chamber room, like a giant arena, the entire floor is filled with tubs, like hot tubs, and not like the electronic hot tubs that we see today, but these marble stone tubs, like in ancient Greece type bathhouse stuff. And in all the various tubs, there were people next to the tubs, either pouring different things into it, or there were people in the tubs receiving some type of healing treatment for some type of thing that they went through in their previous stage, whatever they came from previous to that. And it's where I first met Jodi in spirit, and she was one of the, what I call administrators of that temple, that City of Healing. And I basically got to experience a healing bath of spirit, and it was a very beautiful experience. And that is basically where a spirit is not traumatized, but went through a rather difficult life, more difficult than a spirit usually has to tolerate. So they go to this place to rejuvenate themselves with all sorts of spiritual methods that we as humans haven't even channeled yet. So um, that is another place that is on the other side. What was the other place that I wanted to talk about? Let's see. Oh, if I can remember. And mind you, I'm not using notes for this. I'm literally speaking from my memory and from my experience. So I'm randomly looking off over here, looking in the back of my mind, trying to find it. So excuse me if this takes a while. Um, let's see. What was the other place? Oh yes, reincarnation. Um, there is a city for rebirth, and this city is literally it doesn't have a lot of building features to it. It's more of a, if you can imagine a giant canyon, kind of like the Grand Canyon, but not like the rock that you would notice. It's more of the most buffed, shiniest marble and silver that you could ever imagine. And it's all intertwined and laced together, but you literally walk down into this canyon ravine type valley area, and there are all of these just random places where there are vortexes. There are doorways, channel openings to literally different lives, different spaces and times. It's this huge kind of like spiritual train station sort of thing. And basically I saw people coming in and going out of all of these different vortexes, and there's hundreds of them all over the place, and as one person went in or came out, that one would close and then another one would open somewhere else, and they were constantly just closing, opening, closing, opening, closing, opening, and as people walked in and out. And basically, this also gave way to the theory that I was also presented with a long time ago about spirits who are called walk-ins, where it's basically people who physically, that you knew, who suddenly took a complete 180 personality change out of nowhere, just became a completely different person for no reason. And it and this usually occurs after some type of traumatic event or some kind of accident or something like that that they survive from. Literally, what a walk-in is, and here's a little tidbit of information, is that person made an agreement with another soul before that soul came into that body in that lifetime, and said, at this time in your physical life, you will leave that body and I will step in. And it's literally a different person, a different spiritual essence that takes over. And, you know, for whatever reason, spiritually or destiny-wise, for everyone individually, it's all unique, it's all our personal own path. But it definitely explained that number right there, because I had a lot of doubt about that, but when Anthony showed me that, it was perfect. It was absolutely explained it. So people were walking in, walking out, and basically there was many different people there, and I'm going to call them guides. I don't know if they were spirit guides or what they were, but they were leading people to different doorways. Some were actually opening the doorway for them, kind of doing like this hand motion of open sort of thing, and this vortex would just immediately appear in the wall of this this canyon type place. And it was basically, as I learned more and I listened in on different conversations going on around me, and listening to Anthony explain stuff, these were vortexes that led to lifetimes where you would be born into a specific body for a specific reason, for a specific family, for your destiny to begin for the next stage that you're going to experience, for the next book of your Akashic records. And I found that absolutely amazing. But yeah, so that was, I call that the city of rebirth or the city of reincarnation, and it's not really a city, I guess. I just want to go with the city theme for that, you know, explanation, but it's more of this giant canyon ravine with all of these different vortexes just opening up left and right. Let's see, I can't Some of the places I don't want to talk about because I don't think that, and now you're interested. How about that? Some of the places I don't want to talk about because they're very orientated to specific situations that only some go through in the world, and they're not really meant to be explained for the general public. So just overall, I bet if someday I write a book, it might be included in that, but I don't think it's really important because going through that situation, you know, it's a very individual, unique, lots of variations going on, so it'd be very difficult and it'd take a long time for me to explain, and I don't think I should do that here. But one of the questions that I always get, absolutely always get, when talking about the other side is, why do we not remember when we come into a lifetime, when we reincarnate ourselves? Why do we not remember what the other side looks like, what it's like on the other side? Well, first off, the most basic reason is, imagine if everyone came into every lifetime knowing what the other side was like. And I'm sure some of you have heard this before. How high would the suicide rate be in this world? This world full of pain, anguish, and all the horrible things that we as humans have to go through that we judge as negative. How high would the suicide rate be? That's the basic main reason that it immediately pops in my head. Duh, because I wouldn't want to stay here. The philosophical and also spiritual reason why we do not remember the other side is because it would be too distracting for us to know what the other side looks like entirely and what it's like, and have the memories of us being there consciously remembering, because it would distract from the purpose that we have come into this lifetime now. We all have many different reasons why we are in the life that we are in: to experience, to learn, to grow spiritually, to collect data and information for the universal consciousness. All of these things are very, very important, and knowing what the other side looks like would be very, very distracting. So the next question arises, why do I get to know this and you don't get to remember this? It's because I have come to a place in my life, and it doesn't make me any better than you. It's no judgment. It's nothing like that. I've come to a place in my life where I am basically taking responsibility for who I am spiritually, who I am in spirit. And I have come to the conscious reasoning, with a lot of freaking help from my guide and also my other spiritual friends who are in depth in this world as I am, that we are here for a purpose that can only be fulfilled in physical nature, can only be fulfilled on this plane. We have to be channels. So basically, in order for me to explain and also to help spirits cross over when I need to help them cross over, when I'm called to do so, I was given the ability to see and the gift of being able to see what it's like on the other side, so that I could empathize, so that I could understand and help others do that. So that also arises the third, I think it's the third, maybe the fourth question: why am I now telling you about the other side when some people generally aren't supposed to remember the other side? Because we are now coming into a stage called the Ascension. And basically, I'm not going to go into full detail about what that means. You'll have to look it up. Sorry. I may make a video about it. It's definitely going to be with Jodi, because she knows way more than I do. But it basically comes to a place where you are physically, mentally, spiritually, all around changing. We are literally leaving the fourth dimension, the physical reality, and we are evolving quite rapidly into a spiritual being that is dominantly spirit. And knowing these things, knowing that we must have a purpose in the physical realm when we are in a physical lifetime, a body, I think that it is okay for us to know about what is waiting for us once we complete that purpose, once we complete that destiny. So it's one of those things where, yes, only certain people are going to see it right now, but overall, everyone needs to know about it so that they have a reason to be going through the struggle that is life, to be going through the different things that we have to experience that is life. And nobody truly knows everything that is part of their destiny, is part of their path, and what's going to happen to them. No one does. But it basically means that we, as beings, have a purpose, as I've said before. So, I hear another train coming, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because it sounds like a loud one. So that's what the other side is for me, and that's my interpretation. So thank you guys. And actually, I'm going to wait for this train because I have an advertisement. That's my train. I live right next to train tracks, if you didn't notice already. So, thank you guys for joining me in this video about the other side, my interpretation and what I've seen with my spirit guide, who's shown me that. I hope that this video has brought you some insight about what it is that we go through in spirit when we cross over. Also, I want to invite you to visit, if you haven't already, Jodi Marvin and I's website, www.onemoretimemediums.com. It is the website for our business, our partnership, One More Time Mediums. We are psychic mediums. My name is John Collins. Her name is Jodi Marvin. We will travel anywhere we need to go to deliver messages from the other side, from loved ones who have gone before us, and also teach classes on meditation, on energy work, on pretty much anything you can think of spiritually. So I want to thank you for coming and watching this video, and you all have a wonderful day, and blessed be. So.